Hi guys, welcome to ANIMEized. This is the English translated version of the novel Throne of Seal. The novel differs slightly from the Chinese animation or donghua. If you want more of these videos, please smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Enjoy and have a blessed day.
Caier nodded and said, "The Yak clan has mobilized at least 1,000 troops. 2 8th rank Yak clan leaders lead them, along with 30 to 46th rank Yak clan commanders. The demon hunting squad they are pursuing should be at the royal level. However, they are retreating while fighting. But the situation doesn't look good. None of them are using their wings, and they seem to be in trouble. I also saw a dark purple figure in the sky, accompanying the Yak clan below. That figure might have sprayed a substance on them. If this continues, they might not be able to hold on much longer. I vaguely saw that the Yak clan is being led by 2 8th rank leaders, and there's a large purple-black figure in the air, following the Yak clan on the ground. It's likely the source of the purple-black substance. It seems to have the ability to restrict the use of wings." All eyes turned to Long HaoChen, and they faced a dilemma: to save or not to save. Undoubtedly, the Yak clan force is powerful, with 2 8th rank Yak clan leaders, and dozens of 6th rank Yak clan commanders. A head-on confrontation would be impossible for them. However, the enemy is pursuing a royal-level demon hunting squad. Long HaoChen turned around, and looked at his companions. To save them means we might face significant danger. Not to save them risks abandoning our comrades here. What do you all think? "Boss, let's go." Sima Xian was the first to express strong determination. The others nodded in agreement. Long HaoChen squinted his eyes and said, "Caier, the one in the sky is your responsibility. If I'm not mistaken, it's a sport demon, a 6th rank aerial support demon. It's not formidable in direct combat, but it's troublesome. They can spew a wide-range adhesive substance, which is hard to clean once contaminated, and it causes the loss of the ability to release wings, significantly reducing speed. They are crucial support units in the Demon Air Force. You go and eliminate it, then rendezvous with us, to ensure our retreat route. After killing the spore demon, we will take action on our side. Enter the enemy formation from the side. Avoid direct confrontation with the enemy. Just ensure our comrades have a chance to escape. After completing the mission, immediately fly into the sky and escape. Among the Yak clan, only those of the 6th rank and above have the ability to fly. The only potential trouble comes from the 2 8th rank Yak clan leaders. Everyone must follow my command, especially in critical moments, where I will cover the rear, and you follow HaoYue to leave. And then I will use HaoYue to teleport back to your side. As long as there is enough time to activate Eternal Melody's teleportation, we should be safe. No one should linger in battle, understood? Your. He separately explained a few things to Yin. He had to make his arrangements clear, otherwise, given the bond with his companions, no one would willingly let him cover the rear. Caier nodded, and his black wings appeared once again. With a swift movement, he disappeared into the air, entering stealth as he ascended. With a cultivation level of the 6th rank, coupled with her innate stealth, she could remain semi-invisible even during rapid flight with wings. As long as the enemy's cultivation was lower than hers, she wouldn't be detected. Long HaoChen had great confidence in Caier. The spore demon was only a 6th rank demon, with no other auxiliary troops, essentially trash. While Long HaoChen was organizing everything, the distant rumbling sound drew nearer. The air was filled with yellow sand, and they could barely make out several figures rapidly approaching in the front. Spears were constantly thrown from the rear, and the piercing sound echoed through the air. The Yak clan demons had a centaur-like appearance, with upper bodies resembling humans, but with black scales on their chests, abdomens, and backs. Their faces were slightly longer than those of humans, extremely fierce-looking. The lower body resembles a horse's 4 hooves, skilled in using spears and throwing them. The situation of those human beings in front looks very grim. At the rear is a knight, riding a powerful earth dragon over 7 meters in length. Golden light continuously shines from him, resisting most of the pursuit. The others ride various magical beasts as they advance, evidently summoned by a summoner. This is the reason why they can escape all the way. Although common Yak demons cannot fly, their speed on the ground is extremely fast. Each Yak demon carries at least 4 spears, constantly throwing them forward then picking them up again. Those with wings on their backs are the Yak clan leaders. The first 2 are extremely tall, with an overall height exceeding 3 meters. They are the 2 8th rank powerhouses. Although they only have 1 spear, it is extremely large. Each strike produces a thunderous roar in the air. The earth dragon of the human knight has many injuries, but the knight is indeed formidable, with the priest's healing, magician's support, and assassin's harassment from the side. He managed to withstand the relentless attacks of the 2 8th rank Yak clan leaders. Moreover, upon closer inspection, that knight's silver armor is extraordinary. Even after being hit multiple times, he remains seemingly unaffected. Mithril pedestal armor, Mithril silver knight. The demon hunting squad is the most elite force among humans, and the royal level demon hunting squad is among the upper echelons of all demon hunting squads. From the martial level to the royal level, it represents a qualitative leap. It requires 1 million merits to upgrade, which is no easy feat. Although this mithril silver knight hasn't reached 8th rank yet, he is at least at the peak of the 7th rank. Wielding a heavy sword and shield, he possesses formidable strength. Observing this, the vanguard of the Yak Demons has already caught up with the royal level demon hunting squad, charging past the hiding spot of Long HaoChen and the others. Long HaoChen gestured to Chin Air. Chin Air nodded, immediately sat cross-legged on the ground, starting the chant of an incantation. Illusory soft white light spread outward around her body. Within that gentle halo, Chin Air was immersed in a strange rhythm. She wasn't allowed to use magic before to avoid alerting the 2 8th rank Yak clan leaders, but now chanting is more appropriate. At the same time, amid the shining purple light, HaoYue's enormous figure appeared beside everyone, and HaoYue summoned his evil eye. Long HaoChen looked up at the sky, amid a sharp and miserable scream. A round-shaped creature with 6 flesh wings descended from the sky. This creature's body diameter is at least 5 meters, and it wouldn't be able to fly without its 6 wings. Perhaps it wouldn't be able to fly at all. Its enormous body directly crashed into the ground. McDull, go! Long HaoChen shouted lowly. Little pig McDull is extremely fast, swallowing a magic crystal and soaring into the air. The light flashed in its small eyes, locking onto the already dead spore demon fallen to the ground. In the intense purple-black light, McDull ascended into the sky, and during the ascent, its body rapidly transformed, turning into the appearance of a spore demon. Go up! Long HaoChen shouted, his 4 wings shining behind him, leading the charge. The others all mounted on the broad back of HaoYue, leaving only Chin Air chanting her spell, charging directly into the Yak demon army from the side. The Yak demons' reaction was still quite slow. Upon discovering the enemy, dozens of Yak demons turned to face them, hurling their spears at Long HaoChen and the others. Dazzling golden light suddenly erupted. Long HaoChen, like a golden meteor, instantly accelerated. Simultaneously, vast amounts of golden light erupted from his back, heading straight into the Yak demon formation. Without using brilliant holy shield, at this moment, Long HaoChen, with the radiance ripples in his left hand, has already released him of the goddess of light with his right hand. Charging into the enemy group like a golden god of death. Wherever he goes, all spears are turned into ashes by the powerful light elements. Yating has silently appeared behind Long HaoChen. The light magic from before was cast by her. The Yak demons truly are one of the powerful melee units of the demon race, formidable in both ranged and melee combat. Immediately, more than 10 Yak demons rushed towards Long HaoChen. Long HaoChen aims for a quick battle, even wanting to complete the mission they prepared for right here, naturally without any reservation. Both hands wielding heavy swords simultaneously sweep out, radiance ripple, light sword. At this point, the difference in the 2 heavy swords in his hands becomes apparent. Both possessing fierce sword intent, but the left radiance ripple only slays 3 Yak demons, while the right hymn of the goddess of light spews a terrifying light blade over 3 yards long. Where it passes, the obstacles are swept away. At least more than 10 Yak demons are cleaved in half by this sweeping attack, not to mention the enemies. Even Long HaoChen himself didn't expect the power of him of the goddess of light to be so formidable. During previous missions, they had never been involved in a group battle, and only now does Long HaoChen realize the terrifying power of the divine sword in group battles. Under normal circumstances, him of the goddess of light can spew out a 6-foot sword beam, let alone receiving the infusion of Long HaoChen's pure light elements. Initially, after this divine sword was sealed, countless people tried to unlock its seal but all failed. Even 9th rank powerhouses returned empty-handed. Why? It's because unlocking this divine sword requires not just vast light spiritual power but exceptionally pure light spiritual power. Therefore, Long HaoChen succeeded, supported by this overwhelming sword intent. Long HaoChen, like a tiger entering a flock of sheep, flapping his wings behind him, he directly dives into the midst of the enemy group. Immediately after, an incredibly powerful golden vortex erupts in the center of the Yak demons. Retribution Knight's 7th rank skill, Blade Storm. Although Long HaoChen's cultivation hasn't reached the 7th rank, he is a god's chosen one. Using some not too powerful 7th rank skills across ranks is still achievable, because his spiritual power is fully supported by Yating. At this moment, if you look closely, behind the rapidly spinning body of Long HaoChen, Yating is tightly pressed against his body, as if melted, and concentric golden ripples spread out from Yating's body, absorbing large amounts of light elements from the air and injecting them into Long HaoChen's body. Blade Storm is a powerful group battle skill, an upgraded version of the warrior's whirlwind slash. The stronger the spiritual power and weapon, the greater the power. Long HaoChen unleashes this skill, and within a diameter of 10 yards, it turns into a golden sea. The first 20 or so Yak demons instantly turned into minced meat by the terrifying golden light. Amidst the resounding roars, HaoYue's massive body has already charged over. His sturdy tail sweeps out, fiercely sending several Yak demons flying. Immediately after, its 4 big heads are like magical cannons on the fortress wall, one after another unleashing powerful magic. HaoYue, Shima Xian. and HaoYue jumped down from HaoYue's back. Sima Xian rushes to the forefront, blocking the front-facing enemies for HaoYue, allowing it to use its combat magic securely. With Han Yu and HaoYue on the left and right, Lin Xin doesn't cast offensive magic, becoming a defender instead, a series of fire elemental shields flashing in the air at almost instantaneous speed, helping his comrades withstand the enemy's attacks. This is the first group battle they face after entering the demon territory. Witnessing the terrifying outbreak of Long HaoChen, each person's heart is ablaze with fighting spirit. This is also their first all-out burst of strength. Sima Xian swings the power pill of light in his hand, even without using the purple phantom thunder spirit furnace. Wherever this terrifying metal sphere passes, only the sound of breaking and bursting is heard. Its momentum is even comparable to Long HaoChen's blade storm. And don't forget, he didn't even use a skill, he relied entirely on the power of the power pill of light itself and his own formidable strength. In HaoYue's hand, the shield of Giant God opens and closes widely. There is no need for the empty silver crystals to be embedded. And no Yak Demon can withstand the heavy blow of the shield of Giant God. On the other side, Han Yu's combat power is equally formidable, releasing the fury of the Crimson Blood Sword in a vertical and horizontal range. Wherever it passes, blood splatters. However, in the short time they charged into the enemy formation, there were already hundreds of Yak Demons falling. In other words, their mission is close to completion. Long HaoChen and the others appeared very suddenly, and only now did the Yak Demons in front react. The two leading Yak Demon chiefs roared, and immediately, more than 10 6th-rank Yak leaders led a large army to counterattack from behind, charging towards Long HaoChen and the others. The two Yak Demon chiefs, on the other hand, led the remaining 20-plus Yak leaders to continue pursuing the royal-level demon hunting squad. Undoubtedly, these two Yak Demon chiefs reacted quickly and adjusted quite well. However, they underestimated Long HaoChen and the others who charged from the rear. In fact, it's not just them underestimating the martial level number 64 demon hunting squad. Even Long HaoChen and the others underestimated themselves. 4th-rank powerhouses, in their consciousness, should at least be able to withstand their attacks. But when the battle truly started, they realized these 4th-rank Yak Demons were as fragile as paper under their attacks. A year of closed-door cultivation brought about a tremendous change for the martial level number 64 demon hunting squad. With a significant increase in external spiritual power, steady improvement in internal spiritual power, stable mentality, enhanced equipment, and the spirit furnace each person possesses, their overall strength is already comparable to the demon hunting squad that just ascended to royal level. HaoYue spews out an exploding fireball with a diameter of 1 meter, bursting open in the distance. Dozens of Yak Demons are engulfed in the sea of fire. HaoQing continuously spits out wind blades. Unlike HaoYue, the magic it uses isn't very powerful, but it's like it has eyes. Each wind blade targets a Yak Demon, specifically aiming for their throat vulnerabilities. Xiaoguang emits a golden light, connecting with Long HaoChen, continuously infusing its light attribute into Long HaoChen through Radiant World. Xiaolan raises its head in a somewhat arrogant manner, the butterfly-shaped horns on its head emitting a faint blue light, spewing large clusters of ice spikes around. Not only can it effectively kill enemies, but it can also slow down the enemy's speed. It can be said that HaoYue can now completely act as 4 mages, and all of them are 6th-rank mages. In this situation, when those dozen or so 6th-rank leaders Yak Demons rush over, the casualties among regular Yak Demons have already exceeded 200, and it's still rapidly increasing. After a series of charges, Long HaoChen quickly returns to his companion's side, seeing the dozen or so Yak leaders charging towards them. He snorts coldly, taking large strides towards them head-on. A black figure appears silently by his side at this moment. Long HaoChen turns his head to look. Caier nods at him, the two almost advancing side by side, heading towards the dozen or so Yak leaders. Suddenly, a dark purple liquid falls from the sky, spreading widely in the air, but this time, it's not aimed at the members of the demon hunting squad. Instead, it precisely lands on the two 8th-rank Yak chiefs and the more than 20 Yak leaders they lead. Their speed sharply decreases, and their wings become heavy. This makes the originally highly advantageous speed of these powerful Yak Demons disappear in an instant. Roar! The Yak chief looks up at the sky in disbelief, just in time to see the massive dark purple figure squirming, preparing to spew out a second batch of fluid. Without a doubt, this is naturally transformed by little pig McDull, which has adapted a bit to the abilities of the Spore Demon, and then launched an attack from the air. The Yak chief on the left roars, his spear pointing to the sky, a pitch-black light soaring into the sky, heading straight for little pig McDull. In that moment, the air seems to be torn apart. Amid the piercing howl, the sky darkens. Dazzling golden light suddenly flashes. The fierce sacred light fire collides with the dark energy in the air. Although it doesn't completely shatter the dark energy, it does remove its lock-on effect. The one who made the move is the knight from the royal-level demon hunting squad. At the moment, McDull was locked on by the 8th-rank Yak chief. Its whole body stiffened, about to transform back and escape. But suddenly feeling the pressure of the lock-on disappear, the chubby body twists in the air, instantly dodging the attack. Its dodging ability was trained with the 12th Holy Guard red skeleton. With a PU sound, another mouthful of thick purple-black mucus is sprayed out, this time targeting, naturally, the Yak clan army on the other side. Left foot on the ground, Long HaoChen leaps into the air, right hand thrusting out him of the goddess of light, colliding with the spearhead of a Yak leader. A strange scene unfolds. The resilient spear of the Yak leader is crushed before the spiritual bead of him of the goddess of light. And then, countless rays of light explode in front of this Yak leader. Even though it has scales and strong support of dark spiritual power, however, under the twin dragons of light rain unleashed by him of the goddess of light, how could it withstand it? Its body instantly turns into a sieve of blood. Long HaoChen's right spiritual wing flutters lightly, his body just slightly tilting in the air, swiftly passing by the side of this Yak leader. Both hands wielding heavy swords simultaneously, the dual swords execute Azura Strike. After so much time of cultivation, he can finally unleash the powerful skill Azura Strike with just one hand. At the same time he releases this attack, a violent white light suddenly radiates outward from his body, enveloping all the dozen or so Yak leaders charging towards him. However, this skill wasn't unleashed by Long HaoChen, but rather from the incantation chanting of Yiting for a long time. 7th rank light magic, radiant light deterrence. Using magic beyond one's rank is nothing for Yiting, a light elemental elf. It's just that the incantation time is a bit longer, and this magic, when used against ordinary enemies, can only temporarily deter them, while inflicting light attribute damage. At most, they can't move for 2 seconds. However, when radiant light deterrence faces enemies of dark attribute, its power increases geometrically. Especially when facing opponents whose strength is lower than the magic rank, the effect is even more formidable. Clearly visible, a layer of milky white flames ignites on all the Yak leaders, as they prepare to surround Long HaoChen and caier, their cries filled with anguish, their bodies convulsing violently, and falling into the dazed state of the deterrent effect. If viewed from above, you can see, after a burst of white light, one golden and one black, 2 figures gracefully move through the crowd. Next, corpses fall behind these 2 streams of light. All 13 6th rank Yak leaders, all wiped out. The golden and black figures converge, Long HaoChen and caier lock eyes, both seeing surprise in each other's eyes. While they originally had confidence in dealing with these dozen or so Yak leaders, they didn't expect the process to go so smoothly. Even without Yiting's magical assistance, they wouldn't have faced too much difficulty. With Yiting's magic, killing these Yak leaders is as simple as killing ordinary Yak clan members. Any army, when more than a quarter of its numbers are completely wiped out by the enemy, it's not easy to maintain morale. Under the fierce onslaught of the martial level number 64 demon hunting squad, the Yak clan army finally disintegrates. They scatter and flee. Meanwhile, the 2 8th rank Yak chiefs on the other side are also in shock, and find themselves in a dilemma. Long HaoChen and the others certainly won't pursue ordinary Yak demons, but instead head straight for the powerful Yak clan members in front, because their original goal was to rescue Peos. They just didn't expect to completely defeat the Yak clan army. The fleeing Yak demons don't even care about their leaders. They're just focused on escaping. Such a situation is almost impossible in the army of the Temple Alliance. On the other side, the elite demon hunting squad stops running, and instead stands firm, blocking the attacks of these powerful Yak demons. In this team, the most powerful are the Mithril Silver Knight and the Summoner. With the Summoner continuously summoning, even at the cost of a large amount of spiritual power, they manage to withstand the attacks of these powerful Yak clan members, and await the pincer attack from Long HaoChen and the others. The 2 8th rank Yak chiefs continuously roar, rallying the scattered Yak demons, and at the same time, one of them separates, leading 6 Yak leaders towards Long HaoChen. And the others form up. Long HaoChen shouts loudly. They are about to face 8th rank demons. This is also his second time facing an 8th rank opponent. Of course, he can't face it in a scattered formation like before. Yiting hovers in the air, standing on top of Xiaoguang among HaoYue's 4 heads, chanting an incantation with Xiaoguang, injecting powerful light elemental power into Long HaoChen. At the same time, the entire martial level number 64 demon hunting squad starts moving. In their eyes, there is only one target, and that is the 8th rank Yak Chief. As for those 6th rank ones, what do they count for? Just at this moment, on a distant hill, 3 beasts of different forms, 2 level 5 and 1 level 7, 3 magical beasts charge towards the battlefield, coming in their direction. Chinyin Air is seated on the back of the level 5 magical beast. Long HaoChen had previously instructed her to use the Gate of Life, to be used for blocking the enemy's pursuit, according to his plan, once the rescue is complete. By using the Spore magic transformed from McDull the Pig to restrict the enemy's flight ability, and then using Chinyin Air's summoned magical beast and himself for rearguard, they can always provide time for their comrades to escape. However, no one expected such a change on the battlefield. With over 1,000 Yak demons collapsing under their attacks, the battlefield changes rapidly. Chinyin Air, seeing the situation on the battlefield clearly, naturally doesn't want to fall behind, rushes over with her summoned magical beast to join her comrades, engaging in battle together. 8th rank is 8th rank. Even though the Yak Chief is affected by the spore magic secretion, his speed is still fast, hooves kicking up, charging straight at Long HaoChen and the others. During the charge, concentric black halos spread beneath his feet, and his entire body gains an additional layer of dark luster. Faint black flames begin to burn around his body, incinerating the annoying secretion, while also crazily boosting the Yak Chief's momentum. On the pitch-black lance, light fluctuates. Just as it approaches within 50 meters of Long HaoChen and the others, the Yak Chief roars to the sky. A faint black shadow spreads out behind him, like a black hole opening its mouth to devour everything, half-turning. The right arm holding the spear stretches backward, and then fiercely throws the spear towards Long HaoChen and the others. It's strange to say, looking at it, it clearly appears as a black lance flying out like a shocking rainbow, but the Yak Chief still holds the original lance in his hand. Be careful, it's the tyrant in annihilation. The knight from the distant ace demon hunting squad shouts, but he is currently preoccupied, and cannot assist Long HaoChen's side at all. Previously, to avoid injury, both Yak clan leaders did not exert their full strength, but it seems different now. Suddenly, their subordinates were defeated, and these two 8th rank powerhouses both ignited their true flames. Although their status among the demons is not as revered as the demon god, as the first and second leaders of the Yak clan, they practically rule over the entire Yak province. Even though the Yak province is the smallest among the 24 provinces, it is still one of the 24 provinces. But it is still one of the 24 provinces. This time, being forced into such a passive state by a dozen humans, with a large number of their capable subordinates killed, these two leaders are furious. When the pitch-black lance is thrown, the sky suddenly darkens, even the sand stirred up by the strong wind disperses instantly to the sides, creating a sensation similar to when a Jura strike splits spiritual power, but on a much larger scale. The extremely terrifying pressure makes everyone feel a chilling sensation in their hearts. And everyone senses that the tyrant in annihilation is targeting them personally. The skills unleashed by 8th rank powerhouses are indeed terrifying. The almost distorted black lance shadow is so fast that its trajectory can't be clearly seen. However, at this moment, Long HaoChen boldly charges forward. A white light shoots out from behind him, accurately landing on the 8th rank Yak Chief. Using the traction skill of the holy guiding spirit furnace, in the face of a formidable enemy, Long HaoChen bravely charges forward. This is the courage that a guardian knight must possess. No matter how strong the enemy is, a guardian knight is always the first to charge forward. With a swing of his left hand backward, a ripple of light falls into Yiting's hands. Long HaoChen grasps him of the goddess of light with both hands. His charging body suddenly halts in midair, then his entire being seems to enter a strange realm, making a slow upward motion. One-on-one, indeed, Long HaoChen has to rely solely on his own abilities to withstand the powerful attacks of the 8th rank Yak Demon. At this moment, the most noticeable change on him occurs in him of the goddess of light, where the intense sword aura on the sword body suddenly converges, and the sword body turns dark gold once again. Accompanying his seemingly mysterious upward movement, Long HaoChen now gives the impression of gently lifting the veil of a bride with this heavy divine sword. If a true sword master were here, they would undoubtedly be amazed by the scene before them. What Long HaoChen is displaying is not just the fusion of body and sword, but also the unity of heaven and man. Sword intent is imbued within, concentrated and not dispersed, deeply grasping the essence of swordsmanship. Perhaps he doesn't know any fancy sword techniques, since obtaining the hymn of the goddess of light. The comprehension of the sword has long surpassed the initial level. Puff! Darkness and dark gold come into contact out of nowhere. Long HaoChen's whole body trembles, and his body drifts backward several meters in the air, only to be stopped by the enormous body of HaoYue. However, that pitch-black spear shadow is forcefully picked up by him, soaring directly into the high sky. Yes, it's not a head-on collision, but a lifting maneuver.